Hi everyone, welcome to this update video. I do hope your day is going really awesome. So we are now 8 days from the official start of the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season, and that would be next Monday. So time is definitely winding down, just over a week before that 6-month period officially begins. And there is a potential that we could see early development. I would say the chance is very low right now, but nonetheless, we want to keep watch mostly within this area here for some developments. So we'll be talking about that later on in the video, but right now we can see that it's getting pretty active in sections of the Northern Caribbean, especially in places like Jamaica, where there's currently some thunderstorm activity popping up, especially in some of our western parishes, along with some heavy rain. I'm welcoming it. The day has been so hot. So I'm hearing the thunder in the distance, and I truly anticipate a substantial downpour later today. In the Gulf, we can see lots of action here, mostly coming out of the U.S. So much of that heavy rain and thunderstorm activity is offshore. Elsewhere in the Caribbean, nothing much really going on right now. And as we go on to this graphic here of our surface charts, we can see the different atmospheric features. So we've got our tropical waves. One is well off the African coast out here, and the axis of another one is located in the vicinity of Guyana. So if you go back to the satellite imagery, notice we're seeing that there's definitely an increase in rain in this area. So that is being influenced by the help of that tropical wave. Now, going on to the rainfall forecast over the next day. So more color indicates more rain, and it is pretty colorful across sections of the Caribbean. So in places, for example, sections of Cuba, the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, going to Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands, there could be some scattered showers and thunderstorms in some places, is what we've been recently observing. Some places will get heavier downpours than others. And when there is a substantial period of heavy rain, that could result in flooding. In parts of Jamaica, especially flood-prone places, for example, in Hanover, there's been instances of flooding recently. Going to the Lesser Antilles, also seen some color popping up, so there could definitely be some shower activity down here. ABC Islands, unfortunately, remains very hot and dry. And going down to South America, we can see that for especially Guyana and Suriname, there could be some additional periods of heavy rain, Venezuela, and also Colombia likewise. Sections of Central America, some scattered showers and thunderstorms will be likely over the next day. Now, as I mentioned, the Atlantic hurricane season, it officially begins next Monday. We're only 8 days away, and the first name on the list for the season is Arthur. So, as I mentioned, there could potentially be some development, although I'd say that the chance is quite low for that right now. But models, especially the GFS model, has been hinting at development and at least a rain surge. So let's take a look at the ensemble members. Now, this is pretty much different members of the same model with slightly varied atmospheric conditions. And whenever we see the L popping up on the screen, these little L's, that is showing an area of low pressure expected to form. So this goes out to Monday on the 1st of June. And we are not seeing a whole lot of members. So we see a couple of them from the Northwest Caribbean going to the Gulf, even this one here offshore. So we're not really seeing much agreement in terms of any development. The confidence is fairly low on the Euros graphic. Going on to GFS, we see, there are a few more members available here showing that we could see an area of low pressure form. So the chance is generally low, but at least a rain surge is expected. And even if we do see something form, it's not something that is out of normal, because this is kind of the area we tend to watch for early season development. And as we go on to the conditions, because that matters. So whenever there is development, it's not just about, for example, the sea surface temperatures. there are other environmental factors that actually determine whether we see something that would truly materialize. So here we've got the wind shear, the upper level winds. And think of it as the stronger they are, the more they would interfere with development. So across the Caribbean basin, we are mostly seeing these red lines indicating that upper level winds are fairly strong right now. So this would not at all be supportive of development, but this is something that changes. So could there be a little break where the winds are not too strong to interfere with development? Another thing is land interaction. The rain surge is expected in the vicinity of Central America. So if, say, there is indeed an airflow pressure that develops, but it's constantly interacting with land that doesn't have enough time to really settle down and get itself together, it would struggle. So it would mostly be a rainmaker. But as it pertains to the water temperatures out there, very warm and very much favorable for development. So we can see here, especially in the Western Caribbean, we've got 28, 29 degrees Celsius, some places 27, and especially the Pacific. So the moment an airflow pressure forms over this ocean basin and other conditions are favorable, we will likely see some period of rapid intensification occur. So tropical cyclones require at least 26.5 degrees Celsius in terms of temperatures to really fuel them to develop even more. So we definitely have got that. And across the Gulf as well, the Gulf has warmed up pretty nicely, and it will continue to do so over the coming months. So as I mentioned, at least a rain surge is expected. And as we take a look at this graphic here, we're going to be looking at the GFS and the Euro model in terms of some of the most recent runs. So this one is for this coming Thursday. We're starting the time period at Thursday, the 28th of May. And these different green shadings indicate the average precipitation rate. So let's go out in time. Here we go. So as we head to Friday, it shows that airflow pressure forming off the Yucatan Peninsula. Here we see this L right here with this value of 1,003 millibars, but we're not seeing anything solid or defined at that point. So let's continue further out as we go to Sunday, the last day of the month, going towards the start of June. It eventually gets picked up by this frontal system which moves out of the US. So GFS definitely is constantly showing that we could potentially see development. Now, as we go on to the Euro model, we can see as well that Euro is also depicting that rain surge. This is for Wednesday, the 27th of May. And we can see all those different green shadings. But notice that the model is not showing anything super defined. It pretty much just has an increase in rain. It doesn't show anything else truly materialize. And then as we head towards the latter part of May, not seeing anything significant. So we definitely have to wait and see what eventually happens, but again, I would say the chance is pretty low right now. Conditions are just not normally very favorable to allow for significant development. But as we head throughout this week, we'll get a better idea of what is ahead for the end of the month going into early June. So I'll be keeping you posted, but even if it's just a rain surge, that also poses the danger of flooding, because prolonged period or consistent periods of heavy rain can certainly result in life-threatening flood situations. So I'll be keeping you guys updated throughout this week. And that's pretty much what I wanted to bring to your attention in today's video. So I trust and hope you found it to be informative. If you have any questions, though, you can feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll get to you when I can. And remember to always be weatherwise.